Hi there, musitrature recaps here. Today, I'm explaining a film called Desecrated. The movie kicks off with a trio of troublemakers on the heels of a young couple seeking refuge in the woods. Realizing escape is futile, the guy instructs his friend Parn to hide in the shrubs and grabs a stick, lurking behind a tree. He waits for his pursuers, hoping to fend them off, but the bullies spot him first. Chang, Fet, and Lek pounce on the guy, unleashing a beating that compels him to spill the beans about the girl's hiding spot. Recognizing her proximity, the guy urges Parn to keep running. Lek takes chase after the girl, who skillfully defends herself by smacking him on the noggin with a stick. Using her head start wisely, the girl conceals herself within a tree, praying to remain unnoticed. A couple of minutes later, Chang and Fet locate their friend and soon catch sight of the girl. Seizing Parn, Chang and his crew make a move on the girl. She puts up a fierce resistance, even managing to land a solid hit below the belt on Chang. Wounded, he grabs a cane stick and cruelly thrusts it into the girl. The guy springs into action, attempting to strangle Chang, but Lek and Fet intervene, saving their comrade. Recognizing the need to eliminate the witnesses, the trio of hooligans orchestrates the demise of the young couple, staging it to look as though they took their own lives. In a different scenario, the quiet Bua is out crab hunting by the river with her boyfriend, Yacht. After a successful catch, the pair heads home, catching the attention of a malicious dwarf along the way. Deciding to play a prank on the speechless Bua, the dwarf tosses a stone her way, hitting her square in the forehead and leaving her injured. Yacht attempts to catch up with the mischievous dwarf, but the latter manages to escape on his motorcycle. Back at home, the mother attends to her daughter's injuries and provides solace. Bringing Bua inside, she asks Yacht to wait briefly and returns after a few minutes. She suggests to him that it's better to let Bua be, as they aren't a suitable match. Bua, being mute and deemed an outsider in the village, could lead Yacht to a life of hardship and constant mockery. However, Yacht is resolute that love knows no bounds and is ready to face any challenges. He can't envision a life without Bua and is willing to overcome anything to be by her side. Returning home, Yacht faces another challenge, proving the depth of his feelings to his own parents. His mother, too, believes he should seek a more suitable partner. His father backs her stance and urges Yacht to head back to Bangkok to secure a good job. Yet Yacht is weary of the urban chaos and yearns for the tranquility of his hometown. Furthermore, having a silent daughter-in-law would be ideal, as there would be no room for arguments between her and her mother-in-law. The following morning, Chang, Fet, and Lek venture to a nearby bar, indulging in drinks and hassling a waitress. However, she's no pushover and defends herself, bravely striking back at the insolent customer. Upon returning home, Chang encounters his pregnant wife, who's upset that he's been idle and irresponsibly spending his time, leading to arguments between them. Enraged, Chang harbors thoughts of harming the pregnant woman but restrains himself, opting to retreat to his bedroom instead. Meanwhile, Yacht and Bua venture back to the farm, seeking solace in each other's company. Bua is anxious, aware of the discussions between their parents, but Yacht openly professes his love and reassures her of his unwavering devotion. After making their fishing gear ready, the couple heads to the river once more to catch fish for their meals. Nearby, Lek and Fet are also by the river, although in a different spot, where an elderly woman is fishing. A wager leads to the men stealing the woman's catch and hastily escaping her curses. Upon reuniting with Chang, the group revels in their easy gain and proceeds to cook the fish. Their merriment is interrupted when they spot Bua and Yacht returning from their fishing trip, their abundant catch seized by the bullies. Noticing Bua's beauty, the group begins to pester her. Yacht courageously defends Bua, leading to a confrontation with the bullies. What starts as a verbal altercation escalates into a physical brawl, but Chang's wife intervenes and chastises her unemployed husband. Chang's authority among his friends wanes, and he threatens his wife with violence if she ever disrespects him again. Yacht accompanies Bua home and then returns to his own place. His father, once again, urges him to leave for Bangkok, but Yacht remains resolute in his decision to stay with his girlfriend. The following morning, the malicious dwarf notices the absence of the saleswoman and seizes the opportunity to steal a bunch of bananas. Back at her stand, she spots Bua returning home with groceries, and upon seeing the bananas in her hand, wrongly assumes that the mute girl has stolen them. Accusing Bua, the saleswoman confronts her and demands payment. The girl struggles to convey that she purchased the bananas elsewhere and pleads for forgiveness. The injured saleswoman subjects the defenseless girl to humiliation, forcefully feeds her one of the bananas, and confiscates the remaining bunch, leaving Bua in tears. Shortly after, Yacht's mother pays a visit to Bua's mother to discuss matters. Concerned about their children's well-being, she suggests they separate the couple to prevent any harm. Bua overhears the conversation and takes it deeply to heart, not wanting to bring turmoil to Yacht's life. A few days later, while Bua is at a farm, she crosses paths with Fet and Lek, who are cleaning a motorcycle. They mock the girl and attempt to provoke her, but Bua chooses to ignore them and leaves. Later on, she encounters Yacht at the farm. He learns about the conversation between their mothers and once again reaffirms his profound feelings for Bua. The couple heads to the river for fishing, with Yacht entering the water to untangle the fishing net. Meanwhile, the trio of friends kidnaps Bua and drags her into the woods. Noticing Bua's disappearance and only finding her slippers, Yacht sets out to find her. Bua puts up a fierce struggle against the bullies, but they overpower her. Yacht locates Bua and confronts Chang and his friends. Engaging in a 1-against-3 battle, the hooligans use their numerical advantage to deliver a powerful blow to Yacht. Chang seizes Bua and takes hold of her, while Fet and Lek force Yacht to witness the distressing scene. After subjecting Bua to a degrading experience, Chang instructs Fet to end both their lives. Despite Bua pleading for mercy on her knees, the bullies recognize that they cannot spare them. Following the disposal of the bodies, the three friends bury them in a forest grave and nonchalantly return to the village. Bua's mother anxiously waits for her all night as she fails to return from fishing. In the morning, realizing that something is amiss, she rushes to Yacht's parents. It becomes apparent that Yacht is also missing. In their search for the children, the concerned parents arrive at the farm and encounter a passing woman who informs them that the couple was being pursued by 3 bullies. Recognizing a link, the parents head to Chang's residence to confront him. However, he denies any involvement, rendering the conversation futile. In their frustration, the parents curse Chang, warning him of impending consequences for his deeds. Chang's wife overhears the conversation and begins to suspect his involvement. She confronts him, resulting in a heated exchange, but Chang silences her with a threatening tone, considering her pregnancy. The distressed parents subsequently seek assistance from the local police station, but their pleas are met with indifference. The local officer suggests that Bua and Yacht may have fled to the city in search of better opportunities, urging them not to worry. Realizing that no serious efforts will be made to locate their children, the parents return to the village, consumed by grief and hoping that higher forces will eventually bring justice to the bullies. As evening falls, Yacht's father hears strange noises on the first floor of their house. Suspecting a break-in, he descends the stairs with a lantern, scanning the area for any signs of intrusion. However, he fails to notice anything suspicious. Meanwhile, Bua's mother still clings to hope that her daughter will return. Crossing paths with Lek on her way home, she confronts him, demanding that he confess Bua's whereabouts and repent for his actions. Frightened, Lek flees and heads to the forest, where he waits for his friends to embark on a hunting trip. In the following days, Lek is tormented by haunting nightmares and disturbing visions, prompting him to contemplate revealing the truth. However, Chang, fearing the consequences of being imprisoned, warns his friends to maintain silence or face dire consequences at his hands. The trio becomes separated and turns to hunting birds and animals for survival. During this time, Lek has a chilling encounter with the apparition of the deceased Bua, leaving him deeply frightened. Fet attempts to cleanse himself by visiting the river, but he is startled by the ghostly image of Yacht and flees as well. When they cross paths, Lek and Fet decide to leave the forest without delay. Although Chang initially proposes staying and not succumbing to fear, he ultimately follows suit and leaves the forest, too, once his companions depart. That evening, they engage in revelry with charming girls before dispersing to their respective homes. Fet becomes the first to experience haunting visions of Bua and hears unsettling voices. Fearing to return home, he realizes that malevolent spirits are plaguing him. Likewise, Lek is tormented by relentless nightmares and visions that deprive him of sleep. Chang returns to his home and notices a girl nearby, believing her to be his wife. Drunk, he enters the bedroom and is horrified to find his actual wife sleeping there. Descending the stairs, Chang embarks on a search for Bua but fails to locate her. The next morning, Lek and Fet discuss their predicament, grappling with whether to confess their actions or flee to Bangkok. Fet rejects both options, fearing imprisonment or destitution in an unfamiliar city. Lek, seeking answers, ventures into the forest armed with a gun. There, he once again encounters the spectral Bua, fleeing in terror. However, during his flight, Lek collides with a tree and loses consciousness. Tragically, it is later revealed that he took his own life under mysterious and unsettling circumstances. Fet entertains the belief that malevolent spirits seeking revenge are haunting him, while Chang attributes the events to mere accidents. Stricken with nightmares, Fet becomes convinced that the vengeful spirits of Bua and Yacht are after him. Consumed by guilt, he seeks to atone for his actions. Fet visits the sacred temple, where he confesses before the Buddha statue and lights candles for the departed souls, hoping they find solace. When he meets Chang again, Fet proposes confessing the truth to his father, who holds a prominent position in their village. Chang vehemently opposes this idea, leading to a heated argument and a minor physical altercation. Triumphing over his friend, Chang compels Fet to silence, warning him against risking his life like Lek. Later, Chang returns home but struggles to sleep. He suddenly finds himself immobilized, bound to his bed. In a surreal turn of events, Yacht and Bua materialize in Chang's room, seeking retribution against their tormentor. Upon waking, Chang realizes it was a chilling nightmare. The following day, Fet heads to the river for leisure and fishing. There, he hears eerie voices and is struck on the head with a stick when he turns around. Tragically, it is revealed that Fet perished in mysterious circumstances, drowning. Recognizing the injustice of it all, the village elder decides to confront his son. He urges Chang to disclose the truth, as he fears he may be next. Acknowledging his involvement in an unsettling tale, Chang is unwilling to confess to his father. He's determined to conceal the truth, aware that it might lead to his imprisonment, opting instead to keep the secret buried until the end of his days. Later, Chang seeks redemption by visiting the temple to atone for his transgressions. Returning home in the evening, he hears his name being called. Turning around, he spots the approaching specter of Bua and quickly retreats before she reaches him. That night, sleep eludes Chang again as he hears the clattering of dishes downstairs. Reluctantly, he ventures down, attempting to rouse his wife. However, she dismisses the noise, requesting solitude. With no alternative, Chang proceeds downstairs, grappling with darkness as the light bulbs have blown out. Employing a candle, he scans the area, finding nothing unusual. Abruptly, Bua materializes before him. Consumed by fear and desperation, Chang cowers in a corner. Opting not to await a grim fate, he seizes a knife, attacking the apparition and thrusting the blade multiple times. Moments later, Chang inspects the inert body before him, only to comprehend that he has taken the life of his pregnant wife, who had also descended to the lower level. Holding her lifeless form, Chang mourns, interrupted by a beckoning voice. Swiveling around, he sustains a blow to the head, succumbing to unconsciousness. When he regains awareness, Chang discerns his bound hands and a constricting noose around his neck. Apprehension grips Chang as Yacht and Bua draw near. It dawns on him that these figures are not spectral entities but ordinary individuals. In the ensuing revelation, Yacht recounts the actual sequence of events. Contrary to the belief that Bua and Yacht perished, they survived the ordeal. After extricating themselves from the grave, they eluded capture by concealing in the forest, foraging for food and water. A few days later, Yacht stealthily infiltrated his former home and made off with a suitcase filled with makeup. He had worked as a makeup artist in Bangkok for a few years, honing his skills. Using pigments and shadows, the couple crafted a terrifying makeup design for themselves. Commencing their revenge, they located their target, severing his leg. Subsequently, Bua dispatched the wrongdoer to the afterlife. Turning their attention to Fet, they aided him in finding solace beneath the river's surface. Chang, facing his reckoning, recognized his impending fate. He implored to be spared, vowing to haunt them as a vengeful spirit if they continued. Yacht, skeptical of such tales, believed in facing the consequences of his actions. Bua silenced the discourse, toppling the support beneath the scoundrel's feet, delivering him to his demise. Prior to departing the village for good, Bua adorned herself with eerie makeup and visited the saleswoman who had scorned her over the bananas. And with that, the story draws to a close. Thank you for watching.